Hi again, all. I had so much fun on my cloudy day reading you all chapter 2 of Winnie-the-Pooh that I thought I would go on to chapter 3, in which Pooh and Piglet go hunting and nearly catch a Woozle. I also find that I quite like saying the word Woozle, so if you have half as much fun hearing me say it as I do saying it, this will be a great chapter. So, the piglet lived in a very grand house in the middle of a beech tree, and the beech tree was in the middle of a forest, and the piglet lived in the middle of the house. Next to his house was a piece of broken board, which had Trespassers W on it. When Christopher Robin asked the piglet what it meant, he said it was his grandfather's name, and had been in the family for a long time. Christopher Robin said you couldn't be called Trespassers W. And Piglet said, yes, you could, because his grandfather was. And it was short for Trespassers Will, which was short for Trespassers William. And his grandfather had had 2 names in case he lost one. Trespassers after an uncle, and William after Trespassers. I've got 2 names, said Christopher Robin carelessly. Well, there you are, that proves it, said Piglet. One fine winter's day, when Piglet was brushing away the snow in front of his house, he happened to look up, and there was Winnie-the-Pooh. Pooh was walking round and round in a circle, thinking of something else. When Piglet called to him, he just went on walking. Hello, said Piglet. What are you doing? Hunting, said Pooh. Hunting what? Tracking something, said Winnie-the-Pooh very mysteriously. Tracking what? Said Piglet, coming closer. That's just what I asked myself. I asked myself what? What do you think you'll answer? I shall have to wait until I catch up with it, said Winnie-the-Pooh. Now look there. He pointed to the ground in front of him. What do you see there? Tracks, said Piglet. Paw marks. He gave a little squeak of excitement. Oh, Pooh! Do you think it's a Woozle? It may be, said Pooh. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. You never can tell with paw marks. With these few words, he went on tracking, and Piglet, after watching him for a minute or two, ran after him. Winnie-the-Pooh had come to a sudden stop and was bending over the tracks in a puzzled sort of way. What's the matter? Asked Piglet. It's a very funny thing, said Bear, that there seems to be 2 animals now. This, whatever it was, has been joined by another, whatever it is, and the 2 of them are now proceeding in company. Would you mind coming with me, Piglet, in case they turn out to be hostile animals? Piglet scratched his ear in a nice sort of way, and decided that he had nothing to do until Friday, and would be delighted to come, in case it really was a Woozle. You mean in case it really is 2 Woozles, said Winnie-the-Pooh. And Piglet said that anyhow he had nothing to do until Friday, so off they went together. There was a small spiny of larch trees that here, and it seemed as if the 2 Woozles, if that is what they were, had been going round the spiny. So round the spiny went Pooh and Piglet after them. Piglet passing the time by telling Pooh what his grandfather Trespassers W had done to remove stiffness after tracking, and how his grandfather Trespassers W had suffered in his later years from shortness of breath and other matters of interest, and Pooh wondering what grandfather was like, and if perhaps this was 2 grandfathers they were after now, and if so, whether he would be allowed to take one home and keep it, and what Christopher Robin would say. And still the tracks went on in front of them. Suddenly, Winnie-the-Pooh stopped and pointed excitedly in front of him. Look! What? Said Piglet with a jump, and then to show that he hadn't been frightened, he jumped up and down once or twice in an exercising sort of way. The tracks, said Pooh. A 3rd animal has joined the other 2. Pooh! cried Piglet. Do you think it's another Woozle? No, said Pooh, because it makes different marks. It's either two Woozles and one as it might be Wizzle, or two as it might be Wizzles and one, if so it is, Woozle. Let us continue to follow them. So they went on, feeling just a little anxious now in case the three animals in front of them were of hostile intent. And Piglet wished very much that his grandfather T.W. were there instead of elsewhere. And Pooh thought how nice it would be if they met Christopher Robin suddenly and quite accidentally, and only because he liked Christopher Robin so much. And then, all of a sudden, Winnie-the-Pooh stopped again, licked the tip of his nose in a cooling manner, for he was feeling more hot and anxious than ever in his life before. There were 4 animals in front of them. You see, Piglet, look at their tracks. 3 as it were Woozles and 1 as it was Wizzle. Another Woozle has joined them. And so it seemed to be. There were the tracks crossing over each other here, getting muddled up with each other over there, but quite plainly every now and then the tracks were 4 sets of paws. I think, said Piglet when he had licked the tip of his nose too and found that it brought very little comfort. I think that I've just remembered something. I've just remembered something that I forgot to do yesterday and shan't be able to do tomorrow. So I suppose I really ought to go back and do it now. Well, do it this afternoon and I'll come with you, said Pooh. It isn't the sort of thing you can do in the afternoon, said Piglet quickly. It's a very particular morning thing that has to be done in the morning, and if possible between the hours of, what would you say the time was? About 12, said Winnie-the-Pooh, looking at the sun. Between, as I was saying, the hours of 12 and 12:05. So really, dear Pooh, if you'll excuse me. What's that? Pooh looked up at the sky and then, as he heard the whistle again, looked up into the branches of a big oak tree. And then he saw a friend of his. It's Christopher Robin, he said. Ah, then you'll be all right, said Piglet. You'll be quite safe with him. Goodbye. And he trotted off home as quickly as he could, very glad to be out of all danger again. Christopher Robin came slowly down his tree. Silly old bear, he said. What were you doing? First you went round the spiny twice by yourself, and then Piglet ran after you, and you went round again together, and then you were just going round a 4th time. Wait a minute, said Pooh, holding up his paw. He sat down and thought, in the most thoughtful way he could think. Then he fitted his paw into one of the tracks, and then scratched his nose twice, and stood up. Yes, said Winnie-the-Pooh. I've seen him, said Winnie-the-Pooh. I have been foolish and deluded, said he, and I am a bear of no brain at all. You're the best bear in all the world, said Christopher Robin soothingly. Am I? Said Pooh hopefully, and then he brightened up suddenly. Anyhow, he said, it's nearly luncheon time. So he went home for it. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Hopefully soon I read you all chapter 4, and you can see how Eeyore loses a tail and Pooh finds someone. So until next time, have a great day. Bye.